Hello students, in this video we are going to study our next chapter, chapter number 8. The chapter name is Winds, Storms and Cyclones. Class 7, Subject Science ncert. In this chapter we are going to study some phenomena which are related to air, like air exerts pressure. Then after we will study that high speed winds are accompanied by reduced air pressure. Then we will learn air expands on heating. Wind currents are generated due to uneven heating on the earth. Thunderstorms and cyclones, and what is the destructions caused by the cyclones, what the effective safety measures we can take during these cyclones, and advanced technology, how it helps us during these cyclones. So these are the things we are going to study in this chapter. So here let me start our chapter number 8, winds, storms and cyclones. Orissa was hit by a cyclone with wind speed of 200 km per hour in 18 October 1999. One example is given to you here. In 18th of October, the Orissa was hit by the cyclone and the wind speed was 200 km per hour. And the cyclone smashed, or you can say destroyed, 45,000 houses and making 7 lakh people homeless. Because of this cyclone, this many people become homeless. And on 29 October the same year, a second cyclone with the wind speed of 260 km per hour hit Orissa again. The Orissa in the same year, it faces 2 times in a same month by the cyclone, and it was accompanied by water waves about 9 meter high. With this cyclone, the water waves are there with the height of 9 meter, and thousands of people lost their lives. Property worth crores of rupees was destroyed in this cyclone, and the cyclone affected agriculture, transport, communication and electricity supply. Here in the picture, this picture shows the satellite image of a cyclone which is approaching to the coast of Orissa, which is reaching to the coast of Orissa, and it was taken by the Indian Meteorological Department, New Delhi. So this blue color picture shows the cyclone reaching to the Orissa, coast of Orissa. But now the question is, what is cyclone? So how they formed, why are they so destructive? So in this chapter we shall seek, or we will get the answers of some of these questions. So we begin with these some activities which involve air. This activity will clarify these some basic features concerning a cyclone which are related to these cyclones. So before we start, remember that the moving air is called the wind. Moving air is known as the wind. So here one activity is given to you, activity number 8.1. This activity shows that air exerts pressure. That means air gives the pressure. So here first in activity 8.1, and whenever an activity involves heating, at that time you have to be very careful, and it is advised that not to perform this activity alone. You have to perform this activity in presence of elder person of your family. So here let me see what is there in the activity. For this activity you need to boil water in this activity. How? So let me see. For that you have to take a tin can with a lid, and then after you have to fill it approximately half with water and heat the can on the candle flame till the water boils, and then after let the water boils for a few minutes and blow out the candle, and immediately then after put the lid tightly on the candle. That means close the can tightly with the help of lid, and be careful in handling hot can, as the can is the hot, so be careful while this, and put the can carefully in a shallow metallic vessel or a wash basin. Shallow metallic vessel, that means a vessel which is not that much deep and it is made up of metal. So then after closing the can, you have to put this can in the metallic vessel or a wash basin, and then after pour fresh water over the can, and observe what happens to the shape of the can. First you have to fill the can with half of water, and then after you have to boil the water for the few minutes with the help of candle flame, and then after blow the candle flame and blow off the candle flame, and then after suddenly quickly close the can with the help of lid, and then put this can in the metallic vessel or wash basin, and then pour fresh water on the can and observe what is happening. Can you guess why this shape? You will observe that the can gets crushed or its shape gets changed or distorted. So can you guess now why the shape of it will become like this after pouring fresh water? It was earlier when we are boiling the water, and then after pouring the water you will find the shape of the can like this. So now can you guess why the shape of the can get distorted? That means it get crushed and changed, shape get changed. So this is happen because on pouring cold water over the can, the water vapor inside the can gets cooled and it converted into water, and the water so formed occupies the less space than as compared to the water vapor. So the air pressure inside the can is decreases, and the air pressure outside the can is more than that of the inside. So that's why there is the pressure difference, and because of that the can gets distorted or crushed. And if you cannot get a tin can, then after take a soft plastic bottle and fill it with hot water. Then after filling, empty the bottle and immediately close the bottle with the cap tightly and place the bottle under the running water. You will find the same that the shape of the bottle gets changed. And recall now some of your experience. When you fly the kite, does the wind coming from your back help to you? So yes, if the wind is coming from back to you, then it will help to fly the kite. And if you are in the boat, is it easier to row or to sail if there is wind coming from behind you? So yes, at that time it's easy. Or do you find it difficult to ride a bicycle against the direction of wind? So yes, if we find difficulty to ride the bicycle when the wind is in the opposite direction. So you know that we have to fill air into the bicycle tube to keep it tight. And also you know that the bicycle tube overfilled with air may burst. So what is the air doing inside the tube? You are filling the air in the bicycle tube. And if you had overfilled with the air, then it may burst. The tube may burst. So what is the air doing inside the tube? So it maintains the pressure and it gives the shape to the tube. So here you have to discuss this with your friends, how the air in the bicycle tube keeps it in the shape, how it keeps the shape of the tube. All these experiences show that the air exerts pressure. That means it has some pressures, and it is due to this pressure that the leaves of the trees, then after banners or flags flutter or they wave when the wind is blowing. And you can list some more experiences which shows that the air has pressure. Your hair are also waving in the wind. So that is the also example of the air exerts the pressure, or air has the pressure. So now let us try to explain why the can or the bottle get distorted. As we had already discussed, let me quickly recall this. As the water is poured over the can, some steam in the can condense into water, that get transformed into water and reducing the amount of air inside. And the pressure of air inside the can decreases than that the pressure which is exerted by the air from the outside of the can. And as a result of this, can get compressed. The pressure difference is formed there, and because of that the can gets compressed and its shape gets changed. So this activity again confirms that air exerts pressure. Next phenomena is high speed winds are accompanied by reduced air pressure. That means if the speed of the wind is high, then the air pressure or that place is low or the air pressure is reduced. For that one another activity is given to you, activity number 8.2. For that you have to crumple a small piece of paper into a bowl of size smaller than the mouth of an empty bottle. Crumple, that means you have to make a paper ball of a small size or this size which is smaller than the mouth of the empty bottle. For this activity you also require one empty bottle. Then after hold the empty bottle on its side and place the paper ball just inside its mouth. Here it is shown to you in this picture. Here you have to put this paper ball. And then after try to blow on the ball to force it into the bottle. Try to blow this paper ball to force inside the bottle. And try this activity with bottles of different sizes and challenge your friends also if they can force the paper ball in by blowing into the bottle. So you will observe that like Paheli, same as Paheli and Bujha, that they question that why is it difficult to force the paper ball into the bottle. You will find that the paper ball cannot be forced into the bottle because the speed of the wind increases on blowing air. When you blow the air, so the speed of the wind increases, so the air pressure on the paper ball decreases. And the pressure inside the bottle is more, and hence this pressure, it causes the thrust or it causes the force on the paper ball towards the outside. The air inside the bottle has the pressure and it forces the paper ball towards the outside. And so the paper ball cannot force into the bottle. Instead of it comes outside. And so we can say that the pressure decreases when the speed of the wind increases. So that's why you cannot blow the paper ball inside the bottle. Next, here activity number 8.3 is given to you for the same phenomena. Here you have to blow the balloons. For this you require 2 balloons of approximately equal size, and then after put a little water into the balloons, and then after blow up both the balloons and tie each one to the string and hang the balloons 8 to 10 centimeter apart on the cycle spoke or a stick. Here the distance between these 2 balloons should be 8 to 10 centimeter, and blow in the space between the balloons. Like this boy, you have to blow the air in between the space of the balloons. So what did you expect the balloon? What happens to these balloons? Generally we are expecting that the balloons get apart from each other. And try this activity same in the different ways of blowing on the balloons to see what happens. So if you will perform this activity, you will find that on blowing in this space between the balloons, they come closer to each other. They will not go apart from each other, but they will come closer to each other. The reason behind that is on blowing in the space between the balloons, the air pressure over here will decreases, and so these 2 balloons are forced towards the space between them and they come closer. These balloons forced towards this side and this one forced towards this side. So that's why they come closer to each other. So from this activity also we can say that the air pressure decreases when the speed of the wind increases. Here one another activity also given to you. Activity number 8.4. Can you blow and lift? For this you require a strip of paper which is 20 centimeter long and 3 centimeter wide. And then after hold this strip between your thumb and forefinger. Here it is shown to you. You have to hold this strip between your thumb and forefinger and then after blow over this paper. So Paheli think that this strip will be lifted up, but Bujaho is thinking that this strip will bend down. So what will happen? Who is right? What do you think will happen to this paper? So let us try to understand the observation of this 3 activity after performing this activity with paper strip, you will observe that the paper strip gets lifted up. Why this is happening? So on blowing the air over the upper part of the paper strip, the air pressure decreases over there. Here the air pressure decreases, so that's why the paper strips gets lifted up. And so again we can say that the air pressure decreases when the speed of the wind increases. Here the conclusion of these three activities given to you, that where the observations along the lines you thought, do you get the feeling that the increased wind speed is accompanied by a reduced air pressure? Yes, you can say that the increase in wind speed reduces the pressure. And when we blow into the mouth of the bottle, the air near the mouth has higher speed, and this decreases the pressure there. And the air pressure inside the bottle is higher than the near the mouth. So the air inside the bottle pushes the ball outside. In the next activity, activity number 8.3, you saw that when you blew between the balloons, they move towards each other. So how could this happen? So this could happen if the pressure of air between the balloons were somehow reduced. The air pressure between this balloon reduced, and hence the pressure outside the balloons would then push them towards each other. So they move towards each other. And in last activity, you saw that when you blow over the paper strip, it went upwards. Again, this could happen if the blowing over the paper reduces the air pressure above the strip. So from these three activities, we can say that increased wind speed is indeed accompanied by a reduced air pressure. It brings with it that is reduce in air pressure. Now can you imagine what would happen if high speed winds blew over the roof of the buildings? If the high speed wind blew over the roofs, then if the roofs are weak, then they could be lifted and blown away like this paper strip. And if you have any such experience, then share it with your friends. Now let us try to understand how the winds are produced and how they bring rain and how they can be destructive sometimes. You already know that when air moves, it is called the wind. And air moves from the region where the air pressure is high to the region where the air pressure is low. Where the air pressure is low, the high pressure air is trying to occupy the space of this low pressure air. So the wind or the air moves from high pressure region to the low pressure region. And the greater difference in this pressure, the faster the air moves. If the difference is higher, then the air moves faster. But how are the pressure differences created in nature? Is the difference in temperature involved in this? So for that, here the following activity is given to you to understand the temperature difference causes and the pressure difference in the air. So the next topic here given to you, that is air expands on heating. So here one activity is given to you. For that we require a boiling tube. Take a boiling tube, stretch a balloon tightly over the neck of the tube, and you can use the tap to make it tight. And then after, pour some hot water in a beaker and insert this boiling tube with the balloon in a hot water. Like this. First, this one, you have to fix this balloon on the mouth of the boiling tube. And then after, in the beaker, pour the hot water and observe it for the 2 to 3 minutes for any change in the shape of this balloon. And then take out this tube, let it cool down to the room temperature, and take some ice cold water in the another beaker and place this tube with the balloon and in the cold water for 2 to 3 minutes again, and observe the change in the shape of this balloon. Think and try to answer what makes the balloons inflated when the boiling tube is placed in the hot water. If you will observe that when the test tube with the balloon is placed in hot water, the balloon gets inflated like this. And on taking out the test tube from the hot water, it gets cool and the inflated balloon gets contracted like this one. and when the test tube with the balloon is placed in ice cold water, the balloon gets more contracted, like this one, third one. So we can say that air expands on heating because here the balloon gets expanded, and after on cooling we can say that air gets contract on cooling, as here the balloon gets contracted. So here some questions are given to you, that why the same balloon deflated when the tube is kept in cold water. As we had discussed, as the air gets cooled down or on cooling, air gets contracted. So that's why balloon also deflated. And so now can we differ, or we can say that from the first observation that air expands on heating. So yes, we can say that. And now can you state what happens to the air in the boiling tube when it cools down? So it will get contracted on cooling or putting it into the ice cold water. Here the next activity is given to you, that is very interesting, and this will make you more understand about the hot air. Activity number 8.6. For this you require 2 paper bags or empty paper cups of the same size and hang them 2 bags in the inverted position. That's why their mouth will face the bottom of the floor, like this position, on the two ends of a metal or wooden stick. This stick should be wooden, or it either be wooden or metal also will work. And then after hang these 2 paper bag or paper cup on this stick, like this one, like you are making the weighing machine, and then after tie a piece of thread in the middle of the stick, like this one, and hold the stick by this thread as an balance, and put a burning candle below one of the bag. Here it is shown to you in this next figure, like this. Put this burning candle below the one of the bag and observe what is happening. Why is the balance of the bags disturbed, and does this activity indicates that warm air rises up? So from this activity you will observe that as the warm air rises up, it pushes the bag above the candle. It pushes the bag in above direction, and when the candle burns, the hot air is filled in this bag. In the other air is cool. On the other air, the air is cool, and warm and hot air is lighter than the cold air. So hence this bag with warm air becomes lighter and it is pushed upward side. So we can say that the warm air is lighter than the cold air. Here it is given to you that also, does this activity indicates that warm air rises up? So that we had already discussed that it indicates the warm air rises up, and as the warm air rises up, it pushes the bag above the candle, and does the disturbance of the balance suggest that warm air is lighter than the cold air? So yes, it is suggested. So now can you explain why smoke always rises up? Yes, because that is hot air, and as we had discussed, hot air is lighter in weight, so it rises up. And also it is important to remember that on heating the air expands and occupies more space. And when the same thing occupies more space, it becomes lighter. So the warm air is therefore lighter than the cold air. And that is the reason why the smoke goes up. And in nature there are several situations where warm air rises at a place, the air pressure at that place is lower, and the cold air from the surrounding areas rushes to fill that place. So this sets up the convection in the air that we had already studied in the chapter number 4. The land ridge and sea breeze are the examples of this phenomena. So till now in this chapter we had seen that some phenomena of air, that air exerts pressure, then high speed winds are accompanied by reduced air pressure, then we had seen that air expands on heating, and heated air is lighter in weight as compared to the cold air. So in the next video, we will study the remaining part of this chapter. Thank you.